All right. Hey, this is my first time going live. I'm going to give my normal stimulus check update. And then at the end, I am going to answer questions from the community. If you are joining me right now, I so appreciate you being here. Let's go ahead and get started. Hi, and welcome to today's June 30th stimulus package update. Today, I'll be giving an update on the next stimulus package for about 6 or 7 minutes. Then I want to take questions from you about the second stimulus, how to get your first stimulus check, and if you'd like to ask a question about me. If you're a subscribed member of my community, then welcome back. And if you're not, subscribe right now. Over 400,000 people have subscribed, so we must be doing something right. Okay, now a Harvard economist by the name of Jason Furman has made several comments lately that I hope the Senate will hear and take into account. For example, he said, the recovery we've seen so far has been assisted by extraordinary fiscal and monetary support. And if we pull that away too soon, we'll pull the rug out of the prospects for the US economy recovering. He then continued, I think the most important thing is we don't let expanded unemployment insurance go away entirely after July. That would be a large contraction for the economy. So Furman is saying that a cold turkey takeaway of the $600 per week unemployment would have a big negative impact on the economy. He doesn't necessarily say he wants to keep it at $600 per week, but he worries that if it drops to just the state level, with how many Americans are still on unemployment, that the ripple effect could actually cause the loss of over 3 million new jobs. Furman proposed adjusting the $600 per week benefit and tying it to the US unemployment rate. As the unemployment rate comes down, the extra money you're getting would also go down. We'd start with, for example, replacing 90% of what you would get from a job. And then with the lower unemployment rate, that would also go lower. Furman said the key characteristic of this proposal, which includes financial aid to state and local government, links support from Washington to the conditions of the US recovery. He says, if you're right that the economy is in great shape, then the plan will actually be quite cheap. It would save them money. But if you're wrong, the needed money will flow, he said. So effectively, it's like buying an insurance policy. That is what I think Congress should be doing. Okay, so as you know, the Senate will allow the $600 per week money to fall off at the end of July. Now, there are 2 bills on the Hill to try and combat this by enticing people to go back to work with bonuses of a certain dollar amount per week. Right now, they're saying $450 a week and some kind of, so many weeks, but they haven't said how many weeks. The other proposal comes from a different senator who proposes 2 $600 bonuses or a one-time $1,200 back-to-work bonus. I personally don't believe that the Senate will drop the unemployment cold turkey, but they sure haven't given us much information to go on. It's like, come on, guys, just give us some information here. All right, now, if you found this helpful up to this point, will you give this a like? That's how YouTube knows who to share this video with. And please make sure to share this on social media. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. I would love to have you in my community. Okay, now later this week, June jobs data will become available to the public and also to the Senate. I think the rising number of COVID cases will also play a major part in whether we will get a second stimulus check. But we will have to see. Today, Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin and Fed Chairman Jerome Powell testified on the state of the economy. By tomorrow, I should have more updates on what was testified and the data that they shared. From the Federal Reserve, we do know that they banned 30 large banks from buying back their own stocks, and they will put a cap on how much dividend they are allowed to pay out to their shareholders. This is the Fed's way of making sure that these banks stay healthy and that they're able to lend money to their customers and not just give it all away to their shareholders. After stress testing these 30 banks, Jerome Powell said the banking system is in good financial position. The reason that I wanted to see that is that means that mortgage loans and car loans will continue to be available, and that sector of the economy will remain healthy. And hey, right now, we need as many sectors of the economy healthy as possible. Now, later this week, the Senate will go on break. This means that they are leaving Washington to head back to their own state. I am hoping that during this time, we will get an idea of what will happen with the HEROES Act or some kind of new act, as it has now been 45 days since the HEROES Act was passed by the House of Representatives. I can't even believe it's been 45 days. I remember that update. Chuck from the community says, Stephen, I appreciate all the updates on stimulus checks still being on the table, but I look forward to the day when you say the checks are off the table because they're in the mail. Chuck, I completely agree. I look forward to making that announcement too. All right, now make sure you check out my video from earlier today where I talk about 8 life regrets and how to avoid them. I tell you of a study of 4,000 highly successful people and what they would do in life if they were given a second chance. So make sure to check that out. All right, now this is my first time doing live with this many people. I see that there are 4,900 people looking at me right now. I apologize. This is the face you have to deal with. If you'd like to say something to me or something nice, feel free to do so. I'd love to hear from the community. If you have a question, will you put maybe 2 or 3 question marks at the end of your question? That way it stands out to me, as it looks like there are now well over 1,000 comments. So hi, everybody. Welcome to YouTube Live. Let me go through this and start answering some of your questions. All right. Hello, Laura. Hello, General Caesar. Which of the proposed bills do you think will most likely get passed? This is just me personally, right? So don't take this as gospel, but I believe that we will probably see a revamped, smaller act from what the HEROES bill is. There was a lot of pork in there that, as you guys call it, that needs to be cleaned up. But there is a need for, in my opinion, money for the people. There is a need for some form of continuation as people get back to work. I think it's really easy to say, hey, people should just go back to work. But like, if there's 40 million lost jobs, that means there's not 40 million jobs to go back to. So I think, again, we're going to get a smaller version of the HEROES Act. But I do believe that it will include money to the people. Okay, haven't received my stimulus check yet. Please make sure that you reach out to the IRS. I know that many of you, because of the video that I did on the IRS, you were able to actually get through to a human. You were able to update that information, and you were able to get some kind of time frame on when you would receive that money. So definitely check out that video if you need help reaching the IRS. But for the most part, from at least what you guys were telling me, it was like something missing in the address. Like if you had the word West in your address, they were missing it. Or a bad zip code or an old address, something like that. Okay. Do you think we could use the extra $2,000 a month stimulus? Do I think we could use it? I mean, yeah, I think any money that they give out to the people is going to be used. I've said this so many times. Money to the people is money into the economy. Now, I can see how they're thinking, let's continue to give money to these jobs, right, to these employers. But the truth is, you know, a lot of these businesses won't be coming back, or they'll be coming back at a smaller capacity, right? Like Macy's is going to reopen, but they've laid off a lot of their staff. Airplane companies are going to continue to fly planes, but at a much smaller capacity, right? So would the 2,000 help? Yeah, it will. But I don't see the 2,000 happening personally. Don't blast me in the comments for saying that. It's just there really is this. Okay, we're destitute. We're really struggling. I know. Steven is the only guy I listen to. He doesn't sugarcoat anything. I try not to. I also don't pretend like I have all the answers, but I do a lot of research and I care about my community. Okay, let's keep going here. What do you think will happen at the end of July with the unemployment? I think that it will probably come down from 600, but I don't think it's going to come down dramatically from 600. I think that they may try to phase it out over time, but there's still a lot of people that are going to be unemployed in 31 days from now, is my opinion. So I think that we will see something. Okay, let's keep going. Should I hire a lawyer? I don't know. I don't know what that is in reference to. Can an independent contractor be accepted for the PPP and the EIDL? Today was the last day for the PPP. So if you didn't get in on that, it's probably over. Honestly, I wouldn't be shocked if there's a second round of money to the PPP after the July recess. But we'll see. As far as the EIDL goes, if you did any kind of 1099, self-employment, gig work in the economy, then you should definitely go on and look at sba.gov or EIDL, and you should be able to get that $1,000 grant as long as you can show that you, had some kind of a business or self-employment. So yeah, go get that. I had somebody just today who texted me and said, I got my $1,000 because of you. So you're welcome, Mark Majowski. All right, let's keep going here. We love and appreciate you. I love you guys. If people keep dying, won't there be a need for more stimulus? Yeah, I think if the numbers continue to balloon with the COVID situation and they put us on a tighter lockdown again, yeah, I think there's absolutely going to be a need. So we'll see. Okay, Congress is a bunch of lazy millionaires. I've never been on unemployment. I hate this. I've been on unemployment before. I hated it as well. So I don't blame you there. Okay, let's keep going. This is exciting. It was exciting for me. This is super cool. Steven's awesome. Superman. You got denied the $1,000 loan. Okay. I don't have a lot of context for that, Mike, but you might want to try reapplying, because for a period of time, I actually got rejected as well. And it had nothing to do with me or how I did my taxes or how I was set up as an LLC. It was just the fact that at a specific time period, up through, I believe, the middle of June, they were only giving money to agricultural businesses. And I'm in the financial services businesses, so I was just out, right? So go try again, because I know that I've helped probably 1,000 people get that money just in the last 10 days. So definitely go check that out. Okay, let's keep going here. I hope you guys enjoy this. Do I think that there will be news about stimulus during the month of July? Yeah, I do. I think that I'm going to be here for you guys. I'm not going away. I'm not taking a break. So one thing to keep in mind is, there's been a lot of talk about them going on vacation. And I know it kind of feels like that, but this is when they go back to their home states, and this is all built in. Do I believe that they should stick around? Yeah, I do. I'm very disappointed that they're not sticking around. I think that they should just issue money to the people and then figure out the states and the businesses. But I'm not in Washington. I don't get to control that. But anyway, my point with that is I think that while they're on break, they're still going to be communicating with each other. I think that they're still going to be drafting a bill. And here's why I believe that. Is because I've been doing stimulus updates since March, right? And remember how mad we all were that the Democrats that controlled the House were all on break? Well, while they were on break, that's when bills started to come out, right? That's when we heard about the Emergency Money for the People Act. That's when we heard about the HEROES Act. And then once they got back in, boom, it was within like 72 hours that they made a decision. So again, I'm not defending their behavior. I'm just trying to rationally think through this for myself and my business and for my community. So I hope you find that helpful. All right, Stephen, this is great content. Thank you. Okay, let's keep going. Let's see. There are so many jobs out there. Why can't people just go get jobs? Well, there may be jobs where you live, right? So maybe you're in a big city. Think about, like, for example, Las Vegas, Nevada. That place was a ghost town. You couldn't get a job to save your life because everything was on shutdown. So I know it's easy to say, hey, everybody, quit being lazy and go find a job. But there's 40 million jobs missing. There's still a lot of states in lockdown. Last week, a lot of states were open, and now they've scaled back. They've restricted restaurants and bars and different things. So it's easy to say, go get a job, but the reality is it's harder to get a job right now. So, okay, let's keep going here. Should government officials be fired? Well, in November, there is going to be a reckoning, right? So they're going to have to either do something that impresses the people and they'll be voted back in, or they're going to be voted out. So I think that'll be up to the people. Okay. When are we going to get a second stimulus check? Maria Aponte. I don't know. I don't have an answer for that. The reason that I do these updates every day is so much changes every day. I hope that you see that when I do these updates, that's why I tried to explain yesterday with the example, or a couple of days ago with the example from Robin Hood Men in Tights, where every time you see the king, he has a mole in a different place, right? I'm telling you, I get on every day. There's different information. Senators are calling for money immediately. Senators are saying money, but later. Some are saying, people on Social Security don't deserve a dime. Others are saying these people just need to get back to work. It literally is changing all of the time. And so I hope you guys appreciate the updates. I put hours and hours into creating these videos and launching them. So when it will actually happen, I don't know. But I know this: between July 20th and July 31st, they have got to move. They've got to do something, because you have a lot of programs that are coming to an end in the CARES Act that need to either be renewed or revamped or redone, right? So that's going to be a big deal. But when we'll actually get the check, could it be the first week of August? Maybe. Could it be closer to November? I sure hope not. But that's as I learn these things, I will continue to update you. Here's an example. Up until just a few days ago, the IRS and the Treasury were dead set that the children, the 450,000 children that missed out on money, they weren't getting anything until April of 2021. And now the IRS and the Treasury have come out and said, no, we need to get that money out before the end of July. So things can change very, very quickly. Okay. Can you get retroactive $600? I believe so. Yeah. If you get approved for unemployment, from the time you're unemployed, they technically owe you that back money, as long as you can prove that you were, impacted by the coronavirus and that you were laid off, that you didn't just quit out of fear. Unfortunately, I know some people in the community, they quit out of fear and then they weren't able to qualify for unemployment, because being afraid is not a good enough answer for getting unemployment. Okay, let's keep going here. What about truck drivers? I think truck drivers are awesome, and I want to publicly thank them. I'm guessing what you mean by that is, will you be included as an essential worker? Right now, you are on the list, but we don't know a lot about the hazard pay or the essential worker pay. I'm still doing a lot of research, so hopefully I can give you an update on that tomorrow. But as of right now, it's still on the table, but I don't want to get anyone's hopes up that it will remain on the table. Okay, let's keep going. Want to say hello. Hi. A few things about Netflix. Isn't my wife funny? All right, Stephen Gardner for Senate, Stephen Gardner for president. Would you ever run for a government position? I don't know. My biggest hesitation isn't that I would be bad at it or that I wouldn't care for the people. It's that I worry what they would put my family through in order to get elected. So that's a hard one for me. So as of right now, I don't have any plans, but I have enjoyed being, a helper for as many people as are in my community. Okay, I'm going to keep going. I hope that's okay. I was planning to get off at 20 minutes, but there's so many questions. I'm going to keep going. Okay. Let's see here. Oh, there's so many questions. Is it true that there is no way to apply for unemployment extension? As of right now, you can try to extend your local benefits, but not the federal benefit. That is set to end on July 31st. But again, it's my opinion that they will renew something. Okay, let's keep going. Will there be retroactive for the kids? Yes, as I said, they're trying to get the money. There were $450,500 payments missed. That was a big mistake. They are trying to correct it now. So hopefully by the end of July, they have something. What about the program where we borrow $5,000 from Social Security? Oh, gosh, I hate that program. I hate the idea of anything hurting our retired people that have already put in a lifetime of work and are now retired. They're also the demographic that would have the hardest time going back into the workforce. So I don't see that one happening. I know that on both sides of the table, Democrat and Republican, there are people pushing for it, but I believe there are more people saying, no, 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 we need to protect that program. Okay, would you run for president? I answered that. Okay, let's keep going. Let's see. Someone put something inappropriate and YouTube blocked it. Okay, let's see. Oh, you guys are putting so many questions, it's hard to read them. Okay, if I start working now and they later approve the back to work incentive, will I qualify? I don't know. I would think that you should because you were put out of work, but I don't know. I don't know. I apologize. They haven't given me the answer. So I guess I shouldn't apologize. It's not me that I just don't know the answer, but I wish I did for you. Okay, let's keep going here. Okay. How much money are we going to get, says Debbie. I don't know. One thing that irritates me is that YouTubers especially keep saying the $2,000 retroactive is coming back, or the $2,000 for 6 months is coming back. The $2,000 for 12 months is coming back. There's another guy who says, I can't prove anything, but it's just my opinion that we're going to get $2,000. And I wish what this guy would say is that it's his opinion that if he puts $2,000 in his video title, that he gets more views. Okay, that really irritates me. What we know as of right now is that they are looking at $1,200 one time. Can that change? Absolutely. I would love to be wrong. Could it be lower than $1,200? It could also be lower than $1,200. We just don't know at this time. So I don't have an answer for you, but it is my opinion that the $2,000 ongoing payment that acts like universal basic income, I believe that that is off the table. And anybody that continues to promote it is tricking you for clicks. And I think that that's reprehensible. That's a big word, but that's what I believe. Okay, let's keep going. Is our money safe at the bank? Yes, I believe your money is safe at the bank. In fact, just in the last week, Jerome Powell of the Federal Reserve did a stress test on the 30 biggest banks and found them to be in excellent condition. So that is a big deal. Okay, would you do an interview with President Trump? Absolutely. I would love to interview President Trump and ask him questions on behalf of the community. I would also have loved to do an interview with President Obama. Regardless of who's president, I try to show respect to the office. I don't always agree with what any president since I've been an adult has done, but I try to have respect for the office. And so, yeah, I would love to get answers from the chief, the head of the country right now. So, Okay, any word on our tax refunds? The only word that I have is that they are behind. I spent 2 hours working with the IRS and asking them questions, and they just said, we have dump trucks full of letters that have not been opened. So sadly, if you are owed a refund, it is delayed. If you owe money, taxes are still due by July 15th. So, honey, remind me to write a check in 15 days. All right, let's keep going. The PPP, again, that has closed and is no longer available. I do believe that there will be another PPP program down the road for companies, probably smaller companies. You know, I think a lot of these larger companies may have laid people off just to shift the burden of money onto the government, and they probably actually had enough money to stay open, but we'll see. Okay. Do I think the economy will crash? Not without stimulus, it won't. If the Federal Reserve had not pumped as many trillions of dollars as they have into the stock market, into the credit market, into the treasury bills and bonds market, I think that we would be in worse than a Great Depression right now. If they had not sent money and done this generous unemployment, I believe that we would be in worse than a Great Recession right now. I believe that the U.S. economy is surviving at the rate that it is because of stimulus. And I believe that they are going to see that that is true and that there will be a need for more stimulus. But is it going to fully crash? I don't think so. I think we've learned a lot in the last 100 years. But I don't know. It's sad. You know, one of my fears my whole life is that we would go through another Great Depression and I wouldn't be able to feed my children. And so to actually be living through that has been very stressful. I'm sure that you guys have been under a tremendous amount of stress as well. This is hard stuff. And I just want to say that if you feel like maybe you're crazy for having these thoughts, I just want to tell you, you're not crazy. This is stressful. This is hard. I've had several panic attacks back in April and May. It was rough stuff. So, you know, and anyway, this is hard. So, you know, I appreciate that you guys have trusted me to bring you information. I have always tried to bring you the most accurate information. I don't believe in clickbaiting. So hopefully you guys appreciate that. Okay, let's keep going here. Why did we only get one check? Well, keep in mind, when the national crisis was announced, the plan was to go into lockdown for 14 days. It's now been over 90 days. So they made a lot of mistakes, right? They've done a lot of things right, but they've also made a lot of mistakes. So, okay, let's keep going. I do DoorDash. Should I do the EIDL? Only if you were doing DoorDash before the lockdown. Otherwise, you couldn't just start a business today and get the money. You had to have had a business that has actually had economic injury, right? That's what the EIDL stands for, economic injury. Okay, let's keep going here. Do you like Xanax? Well, if you need a Xanax, take one. I don't personally have any. Okay. Have I heard any more about hazard pay? I have not. I'm doing a lot of research. I think that there will be something for hazard pay and essential workers. I just don't know what it will be yet. Okay, my hours were cut in half. Sorry to hear that. Oh man, this is moving so fast. There's a lot of people on here. Okay. Do you believe the poverty rate will rise to 16.9 without second stimulus? Let's see. Oh, the poverty rate. Okay, so not unemployment. Yeah. So the group of American citizens that is least able to bear the burden that has been thrust upon them are the ones that are suffering the most. They're the group that I absolutely believe needs stimulus. as you get into those higher incomes, some of those people have gone back to work. Some of them never lost a job. Will they still spend that money? Yeah, they will. But right now we're coming to a point where we need stimulus because of poverty, because of the rising cost of food, to save your home. I could go on and on about the reasons why certain demographics in our country absolutely need more stimulus. Will the poverty level rise? I believe it will. And with that comes more problems, right? Poverty is a real thing. And, it's why I got into financial education. My own mom and dad didn't make a lot of money. We were never rich growing up. Sometimes Christmas only happened because of my grandparents, and I'm grateful for that. So, but yeah, there is a big risk of that poverty level rising if we don't get people back to work and if we don't help them to get back onto their feet. Okay. What to do with money in the bank? Well, the money at the bank is most likely safe. If you're asking how to get a better rate of return, you could certainly reach out to my office at yourbridgeplan.com. I can try to give you some ideas. I've got access to programs that are earning around 3%. Here's what really happened is a lot of people that shouldn't be in the stock market were getting nothing at the bank. And so they left the realm of safety to go after higher returns, and they got burned, right? When the market dropped in March. And unfortunately, the stock market carries a lot more risk than most people want to discuss, but that's just the truth of what's happening. But there are ways to get better than returns, better than bank returns. Usually you have to have a higher amount of money. I'd be happy to talk through that. Right now may be a great opportunity for you to start a business or some kind of side business to bring in money. There's certainly a lot of tax benefits that come from being a business owner. Maybe I'll do a video on that one day. Okay, let's see here. Why is everyone avoiding us veterans? I'm not sure what you mean by that. I'm just going to take my best guess. Why were you one of the last groups to get money, maybe, is the question. My answer is I don't know why you were one of the last. The only thinking I can come up with is in their minds, they're like, well, we're not going to lower that monthly payment that comes to veterans. We're not going to lower that monthly payment that comes to people on disability. We're not going to lower Social Security. So in their minds, they were heroes by not lowering it. But the truth is, veterans, social benefit program Americans, they went out and spent more money to prepare for the lockdown. And then the cost of almost everything has gone up. And so, yeah, I think that unfortunately veterans were in that group that kind of got overlooked a little bit. But I appreciate that you served our country. And so for what it's worth, I appreciate it. Okay. Stash cash. I don't do anything with stash. I have a little bit of my own money in Robinhood, and I always leave a link in my description box. I don't do a lot with stocks. I'm not a huge risk taker. But anyway, let me keep going on some stimulus stuff. Okay. Does child support get their stimulus? In the last bill, it was taken. In the HEROES Act, the way the language is written, this time you would get the money. But the HEROES Act has to be passed. So as of right now, it's on the table, but I don't know whether it will stay on the table. Okay, let's keep going for just a few more minutes. I hope you guys found this helpful. This has been fun, but man, there's a lot of you, which is awesome. Okay, let's see what this one says. You have a lot of bots in your chat. Okay, I don't know that. Why do people give you thumbs down on your videos? I don't know. You'd have to ask them. Maybe they don't like it. Maybe they don't like my videos, or maybe they are bots. Somebody else said that you probably have a bunch of bots. So, okay, let's keep going here. Why are they so, let's see, why are they so focused on the 33% that saved their stimulus and not the 67% that didn't? Oh, you know what? I can't read the government's mind, but maybe what they're thinking is like, man, why did we send that 33% money? So maybe on the next round of stimulus, instead of 150,000 for a couple or 75,000 for an individual, maybe they will lower that and they'll keep the amount the same, but the large wide net cast that are fishing net that they threw out, maybe that will shrink. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what they'll do with that, but okay, let's keep going. Your thoughts on Webull? It seems like a good platform. I know other YouTubers promote the heck out of it. I don't personally use it. Again, I don't do a lot in the stock market. My other investments have done real well for me, and I'm not a big risk taker. But if you want to put money into the stock market, you can use Robinhood or Webull, or you can get a broker. But I don't interrupt my videos with offers. That's just not the way that I want to run my channel. Okay, let's keep going. Steven, you're doing a great job. Thank you. Steven, you're awesome. Thank you. Let's see here. Okay. Let me try and slow this down. Why does somebody need a back to work bonus? Shouldn't they just get a job? Oh, that's a good question. Think about the momentum it takes a car to get wheels moving again, right? You ever rolled up on a yellow light and then it goes red and you're still kind of rolling and then it goes green and you take off really fast? Well, that's because you were able to keep that momentum going, right? And so I think they're just trying to give them some momentum, right? Think about the people who have they've got to start a new job, right? New equipment. They've got to repair their car. They've got to find daycare. There's a lot of things that go into that. I don't think that this back to work bonus will be something that's ongoing, right? I know that it's kind of made bad feelings between those that have had to stay at work and those that are going to be coming back into the workforce. But again, I think I'm just trying to help you understand their thinking. But at the same time, I don't pretend to know exactly what the government's thinking, because they're definitely doing things different than how I would if I were in a government position. Okay, let's see here. You guys keep doing these DAP emojis, so thanks for that. Okay, let's keep going here. Oh my goodness, there's so many of you. I appreciate the support. All right. I've been looking for a job. I can't find one. Am I going to lose my benefits? Keep your head up, man or woman. I can't tell based on the name. Just keep looking for that job. You'll find one eventually. There's going to be some kind of unemployment, but just keep looking. That's all I can say. I've been there where you're competing against 50 other people for a job, and it's stressful. So I've been there. So all I can say is that I can relate. Okay, let's keep going. Do you think the economy will ever shut down again? I think that there could be restrictions, but a full-blown lockdown, I don't think they'll ever do that again. It's been damaging in a lot of ways. And, don't blast me. I'm not making any punches at the COVID situation. But, they've stopped releasing data on how many people have committed suicide because of the lockdown. There's not a lot of data on how many people have gone homeless. The biggest data we have is that 40 million people lost their job unexpectedly. So, there are other ramifications for shutting down the economy other than health. But at the same time, they do need to focus on, our health as a whole. But I don't know that I ever see them fully shutting down the entire U.S. economy. I think as they have hot spots or a certain state or city needs to close down, then they'll do that. That's what they've done here in Utah. There's been counties where there's been flare-ups. People put on the masks, they wash their hands a little bit more, and then we see it kind of die back down. And then there's other parts of the state where we're just not seeing a lot. So anyway, okay. I'm going to be wrapping up here in just a few minutes. Let me see if I can get to any more questions. I hope you found this helpful. I've been wanting to do this, but I was very nervous to do this. I'm not going to lie, but I just decided to go ahead and do it. Okay. Adult disabled dependents, will they get money? As of right now, you are on the list, but again, we don't know what parts of the HEROES Act will be kept and which will be thrown out. So I don't know as of right now, but as of right now, it is on the table. Can you guarantee that they will pass a bill in July? No, I can't guarantee anything that the government will do. You know, they're slippery. I mean, dealing with Congress is like trying to bathe a cat. It's just a bad idea sometimes. It's like, okay, let's keep going here. Okay. Stephen, why don't you have super chat? You do not ask for anything. There are people like me who would love to give you a super chat. I'm going to say right now, I don't know what super chat is, but you saying you'd like to give me something. I'm guessing that has something to do with money. But I don't know. I appreciate that, Carrie Ann, but I'm okay. But I don't know what super chat is. This is my first time doing live since my channel became this big. Okay. Is that a purifier behind you or a paper shredder? That's a paper shredder. And it can only do like 2 pieces of paper at once because my kids went ahead and jammed like 10 in there one day. Why are we low on coins? I don't know. Maybe people are hoarding them or the banks are holding on to them. Is an Uber driver considered essential? If you look up the essential worker list, you can see whether they are or not. I'm not sure. I don't want to make up an answer, but you would be considered a gig worker and you could go get the EIDL $1,000. So definitely look into that. I know I had a guy the other day, he got it and repaired his car and now he's back out driving. So yeah, definitely look into that as a gig worker. All right, I got to start wrapping this up because I still have a financial coaching session here at 5 o'clock. And but I appreciate you guys coming on here. Let me just see if there's any last questions. Oh man, there's just too many of them. Please see me, Path 22. I see you, but that's all you said was to please see you. So, all right, well, hey, maybe I'll do this again. If you like this, give it a thumbs up and let me know. I'll go back through and read the comments and try to answer them. And I'll do this again if you guys liked it. For me, it was nerve-wracking but fun to do this. I've tried to answer as many questions as I can. As I wrap this up, I just want to say how grateful I am that you are in my community. The fact that 440,000 people put their trust in me to deliver information is truly humbling. I appreciate that. I love that you're in my community. And I know that we're going through a lot of hard times. And so I just want to end the way I always try to end. And that's just to remind you that you are enough, that you are amazing, that you are incredible, right? Right now, you're being beat up mentally, right? You're questioning your self-worth. You're questioning your self-esteem. How am I going to provide for myself? How am I going to provide for my children? I've been through all of this. I talk to lots of you guys every single week. So anyway, I just want to remind you how grateful I am and that you are amazing. And I will see you on the next video.